model Tess Holliday revealing her battle with anorexia. With eating disorders on the rise during the pandemic, Kana Whitworth spoke exclusively to Holliday about her struggle and what she wants others to know.
The mother of two saying she was recently diagnosed by a psychologist, but has ultimately been struggling with disordered eating most of her life.
I always thought that I overate. But then people in my life would say, oh yeah, I eat more than Tess. And it was almost like I wore it as a badge of honor.
Known for loving and celebrating her curves as a body-positive activist, Holliday has been receiving support for her honesty from many, but also being questioned by some online about how she could love her body and also have an eating disorder.
I've had a lot of messages from folks that are anorexic that are livid and angry because they feel like I'm lying. I am plus size, but advocating for diversity in larger bodies. And so I think for people hearing me say I'm anorexic was really jarring.
Holliday's dietitian, Anna Sweeney, says if you think that most eating disorders are visible conditions, you're wrong. Eating disorders don't have to look a certain way.
I understand that people look at me and I don't fit what we have seen presented as, the diagnosis for anorexia. But then for me, that tells me that there's a larger problem, which I've been actually saying for years, is that we have a lack of diversity and representation in the world.
Eating disorders are extremely common and may affect nearly 1 in every 10 people. According to a recent study, about 9% of the U.S. population, almost 29 million people, will have an eating disorder in their lifetime. And the numbers are on the rise during the pandemic. The National Eating Disorders Association reporting a 41% increase in calls to their helplines. Holliday sharing highs and lows, including her divorce, with over 2 million followers on Instagram, hoping to reach others that might be facing a similar battle.
You wrote, I'm the result of a culture that celebrates thinness and equates that to worth, but I get to write my own narrative. So tell me, what is that story now?
I mean, the sky's the limit. I actually feel like I can take on the things that life is throwing my way, and I have been happier in the last 6 months through my recovery than I've been in my entire life. I feel whole. I feel at peace. I really feel in my power.
Big backlash against your appearance in the video. These critics saying that it glorifies obesity, that your weight is unhealthy, and that by appearing in the video, you're encouraging people to be overweight. And then, once this critic had spoken out, a big backlash against the criticism by people saying, no, this is about accepting all sorts of different shapes and sizes, which is the camp that I'm in, as I'm sure the viewers already know. But what is your view, and how have you reacted to the criticism against you?
Well, I mean, fat people exist. There's no question about that.
But it's whether we should be celebrating a body image which is medically defined as highly dangerous. And I'll explain why. If you don't mind me just going through some stats here. You're 36 years old, you're 5'4", you're 380 pounds, 27.1 stone, and your BMI is 64.6. Now, the BMI ranges, according to the World Health Organization, 18 is underweight, up to 24 normal weight, 25 to 29 overweight, 30 to 34 class 1 obesity, 35 to 39 class 2 obesity, anything over 40 class 3 obesity, which is morbid obesity, i.e. a level of obesity which could very possibly lead to early death. Your BMI is 64.6.
Do you think that Angelina doesn't know all of this?
No, the reason I'm saying it is so that viewers can understand the debate properly. My argument is this, is that when you are that level of morbid obesity, statistically, is it right to put people like yourself into a pop video celebrating that kind of weight? And I ask you honestly, to be honest with yourself. We've had all this with Tess Holliday. She's on the cover of Cosmo and it's all celebrated. There's no mention of it being a dangerous weight.
Honestly, if you were really concerned about people being obese and representing something bad, you would take yourself off the air because you're not exactly slim yourself.
Well,
right?
OK, I'm 220 pounds and I'm 6'1". right? You're 5'4" and you're 380 pounds. So there is a difference. I'm not morbidly obese.
Right, but you're still
I'm
fat
actually
too.
reasonably healthy.
You're still fat
I'm
too.
reasonably fit. Well, you might think I'm fat. Most viewers are looking at this and think they're not seeing me as morbidly obese, right? So you're perfectly entitled to throw the jibes back at me.
But you're still fat. You being less
I'm not in
fat
Miley
than
Cyrus's
me
pop
doesn't
video.
make, you know...
I'm not in a pop video, am I? Extolling
But
the
you're on
virtues of my
TV.
body.
You're on TV. You're on TV every day.
So you think that me
You're on
sitting
TV
here
every
now...
day. You're going to tell me that...
You think, just to clarify, there is a comparison between me sitting here now, 6'1", 220 pounds, I am reflecting and celebrating a clinically dangerous level of weight, you think?
I think that if you were really concerned about glorifying obesity, you would take yourself off the air.
But I'm not obese. It's just a statistical medical fact.
You're fat, though.
I'm not medical. I'm not even fat.
Yeah, but you being
No, I'm
less
not. This is the point, though. My point is,
okay.
With great respect to you, my body mass index is not 64.6, which is 24 above the morbid obesity level. So you can throw it back at me, and that's fine. I'm a big boy in many ways, right? That's fine, right?
Too big, according to Angelina.
I have a serious point. I think there is a trend now with Tess Holliday and now you of glamorizing morbid obesity, which actually is dangerous. And I'd say this for your health as much as anything else. It's like, it is a dangerous weight to be. Do you accept that?
Well, Piers, honestly, I will tell you, I am not healthy. I'm not going to pretend like I am in perfect health, but I am 46 years old, not 36.
Okay.
I am 8 years younger than you and don't look my age. But the health problems I have are more age-related than weight-related.
OK, I mean, look, I feel the same way, by the way, about the size 0 models on catwalks, right? It's not about an anti-fat person thing. And I totally concede that I would like to be a little bit slimmer, a little bit healthier and fitter, right? I get that. But there is a difference between me and you. And I would like you to be honest about this, rather than, doing lots of press around your Miley Cyrus video, which makes it look like this is all pretty cool and fun.
I think the thing is that what Angelina is saying is this is not about glamorising. This is about accepting.
But if we accept it, we're going to create a bigger problem. At the moment, obesity is a huge problem in terms of death rates. So we can't ignore that fact.
But also, people say that looking perfect is a problem for instance, teenagers.
But
because all teenagers think that's a very good point. But a lot of people think that by having, you look utterly perfect, and Love Islanders all look utterly perfect,
but
for
I'm
instance.
not utterly perfect. I have cellulite. I have things that I don't like. We all do. But what?
So it's about accepting,
of course,
all of the different
I
body
can't accept
shapes.
someone who is really unhealthy. Again, the same with Piers saying, if we had put someone who was anorexic on a music video, there would be absolute
I totally agree.
uproar.
That's the point I would make.
And it's
actually,
the same thing.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that is a valid point, Angelina, is that if they had put, we went through that period of what they called heroin chic in fashion, where these incredibly skeletal models were put on covers and catwalks and so on. And there was a huge outcry about it because it was deemed to be promoting and propagating an unhealthy body image. And I think the same applies, with great respect to you, to models like yourself and Tess Holliday and so on. I'm just uneasy when it's framed as, this is a glamorous pop video and here you are, here's the cover of Cosmo and here you are, without actually re-emphasising constantly that this is a really dangerous, unhealthy weight to be.
I think normalising it is the problem.
But unhealthy people still deserve to see themselves represented.
But why would you want to be represented in a pop video? I don't get it. I mean, if you want to be, a good role model, you could just do.
Because that's my job.
You could go on
that's
a big.
What I do. That is my job.
Right, but you see, I would respect you more with respect to you if I saw you doing a fitness campaign where you tried to lose 100 pounds. Rather than appearing in a pop video, glamorising
keep dreaming, babe.
Huh?
Keep dreaming, babe.
Keep dreaming. Why? Well, why keep dreaming? Why wouldn't you aspire to do that?
Because that's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. Diets are 95% failure rate. Why would I do something that's going to fail?
Because I would hope you would want to save your own life. And I would like you to save your own life. You seem a very charismatic person to me. You give it back as well as you take it. I respect all that. right? But I would not like you to die of morbid obesity at a very young age. That's all.
And also with diets being 95.
I'm 46. I'm like not worried about not living a full life. You know, I've already lived a lot of life, trust me. And if I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't regret it.
But are you happy?
I can do things while being fat.
Of course
Am I
you
happy?
can.
No, there are a lot of things that I would change, but it's not happy in regards to other things that aren't related to my weight.
Okay. All right. Look, it's an interesting debate. I mean, I know your view is very different to mine, right?
Yes, totally.
You don't think there's anything wrong with this. So would you be happy with skeletal models doing it?
You talk about
Would you be happy with a really skinny, really ill-looking skinny model appearing in that video? Would you be happy with that?
I think if someone is like that...
Yeah.
But she wasn't born like that. She's
Right.
made herself that way.
What if
through
someone was literally
unhealthy
starving
habits.
themselves and we celebrated it by putting it on the cover of Cosmo? You would not like that. And that's the hypocrisy of this debate. Is that because people are massively overweight, we're not allowed to say, actually, that's unhealthy. I think we should be able to.
People put themselves through very punishing regimes to be on the front of magazines. I think it's very hard to be...
Tess
to look as
Holliday's
good
only punishing regime
as
for that
the
cover
models look.
was to eat lots of food.
Also,
right?
people are gaining more work from being bigger. So
Yeah.
also we're seeing
but we
people
can't-
gaining weight just to get somewhere
Okay,
in a
except our
career.
modern media is not flooded with people who are hugely overweight.
Let me ask you.
No, of course
all right, let me
not,
ask
but I'm
you,
just saying
Angelina,
a lot of
finally.
people see
Exactly.
Do you think, I mean, I don't know about you, Angelina,
the
but
amount of fat
I tend to
people
get...
that are actually out there...
Yeah. I tend to, Angelina, here's my thing.
It's like so small. It's so small.
Yeah.
Right, but I think, Angelina, that a bit of fat shaming is a good thing, right? I think that when people say to me, you put on a bit of timber, mate, it makes me go back and try and lose a bit of timber. Eat a bit less, drink a bit less, get on my Peloton bike, off we go, right? I need to have people look at me going, hey, big boy, lose a bit.
That's so ironic,
right?
because whenever we mention it on air as a joke, you complain about it.
I do that to you because
Yes.
you're the great virtue signalling. We can't say anything negative about anybody's body image. Everyone's perfect.
Yes.
I don't agree. I think a bit of fat shaming is a good thing, a healthy thing. What do you think, Angelina?
I think you're wrong. I think that people should be allowed to live their lives without somebody commenting on everything that they do or what they look like.
380 pounds, naked woman appearing in a Miley Cyrus video.
Great eye roll,
We're
by the
all
way.
going to talk about your body, aren't we? You know that. That's why you did it. Right?
No, I did it to get paid, honestly.
All right.
Good for you.
You know what? On that brutally honest note, I applaud you. Angelina Duplessis, it's good to talk to you.
I do agree that there is stigma that I have to deal with because I am fat, but I'm actually really in celebration of my body. I find beauty in diversity. I think we come in all shapes and sizes. And the assumption that we've dealt with a lot on this show is that just because you're obese, you must overeat. You must have an eating disorder. I know that not to be the case. I know you can have a healthy relationship.
Now, Mimi, you say this is misleading. Go have at it a little bit.
Well, I certainly think that we all want to feel good about ourselves. That's understandable. I don't think people should feel demeaned by their size. And I also couldn't agree more with the message of daily exercise. No matter what size you are, you'll certainly benefit from daily exercise. You can't be healthy without that. But then let's talk about where we disagree. Look, if you want to feel good about yourself, it's impossible to feel good about yourself when you're doing something that's self-destructive. Also, self-destructive behaviors that result in damage or debilitation or even disfigurement to the body, that's never going to be perceived as beautiful.
The thing is that I think that the Hayes approach, the health at every size approach, has been documented to work. And it's been documented to work year after year.
What do you mean work? What do you mean work? Because a health at every size is a lie. If you starve yourself into damage, that's unhealthy. Or if you eat yourself into damage, that's not healthy.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
That's just not.
Here,
that's not true.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
That's like saying
about
that.
Weight
let's
being
say you were a smoker.
self-destructive.
Let's say you're a smoker and have black lungs, and you try to say that's healthy because you don't have cancer yet. We know that it is actually factual that obesity is dangerous, and it's connected to cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's. We even know it's connected to an increase in birth defects. So there's nothing left to debate.
Mimi?
It's not beautiful. It's not healthy.
I think you need to separate the idea of weight from healthy behavior. Now, I have students that when they come to me, when they start my class, they can barely walk from the car to my class. And over the course of a year, I'll take them from that point to working out 3+ hours
There's
per
your class
week.
now.
Right.
I mean, but that's a massive improvement. I mean,
Right.
that's no longer people with medical issues. Those are people you've taken and improved them.
But they haven't necessarily lost a lot of weight. Some of them have lost no weight, and they've had these medical improvements, and they've had these life improvements, these life freedom improvements, without losing weight.